Masters table. Masters table.
Master elements.
Masters table. Masters table.
Racism, white supremacy is a dynamic system for the ultimate purpose of white genetic survival on the planet. White supremacy.
You are in an evil system, a system that is designed deliberately to produce evil thoughts, to produce animosity, to produce violence.
Introduction to African civilizations and man-garden civilization.
Masters table. Masters table.
Master elements.
Masters table. Masters table.
Master elements.
We dedicate lives to the study of history.
They didn't tell us that if you give up the man, you're going to take one of these things and it's worse and it will destroy your nation.
The right way is clearly distinct from error.
Racism is a competitive relationship between groups of people who are competing for the ownership and control of resources, wealth, and power.
Masters table.
It's the Ticket Plug. We've been running an online ticket business for over a decade, and now we've created an easy way for you to do the same thing through our private ticket resale community. Joining our community will give you a way to flip your bread and generate profit income consistently. We provide you with all the tools, training, and resources needed to start your life-changing online ticket business. Zero experience needed. To join our ticket resale community, go to thetickettrap.com. Again, go to thetickettrap.com. That's thetickettrap.com.
And those Africans have to be organized to fight for their liberation.
GW Apparel, a clothing that speaks. Something for the kings, something for the queens. Visit uptsites.com and use promo code SLDG22 and receive 11% off your order. Peace.
Yeah, like that. Let's see what's in the God's mind. Listen.
All right, peace, family. We are live. Welcome to another episode of Sincere Love the Godcast. This is the Black Business Showcase. I am the God Sincere Love, and I am here with my lovely co-host, Nicety Girl. We are in the digital building. How's everybody feeling tonight?
It's good for me. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Of course, it's hot. Excited about tonight's guest. And thank you everyone for joining us tonight.
For sure. And for some reason they're not letting us go.
Dry.
Oh, you glitched up a little bit. And I was just about to say this should be a glitch-free episode. I think I solved the glitch problem on my end at least. I went and got a long ass Ethernet cord to stretch from my living room to in here so I could plug directly in to the internet instead of being connected to the Wi-Fi, because that was getting on my nerves, man. I'm trying to edit the videos and repurpose the videos, and all the good parts is all glitchy and all of that. That was getting on my nerves. So hopefully we got that resolved for the most part. But I noticed Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter, is not letting us go live anymore. So we live on Facebook right now. Usually we've been going live on Twitter, and we've been getting a lot of people coming in from Twitter recently, but now I guess they changed the requirement. You have to have a premium account to go live on Twitter or whatever. So whatever, we here, we live, you know what I'm saying? So appreciate everybody that's tuning in, whether you're watching on YouTube, whether you're watching on Facebook, wherever you're tuning in from. Make sure that you hit the like button as you're coming up in here. Whenever you hit the like button, that helps to boost our video into the algorithm. And it also helps to make sure that people who are subscribed to our channel get the notification bells whenever we go live. So make sure you hit that like button, share this out on your social media platforms. Let everybody know that we are live right now with another episode of the Black Business Showcase. And if you're not already subscribed to us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Godcast Enterprises on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to that channel as well as Sincere Love to God. And hit the notification bell so you can be reminded whenever we go live with new episodes. We usually do this around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. This is the Black Business Showcase, where we bring on business owners and entrepreneurs to chop up good game about business, just like we're about to do tonight. And of course, we got another dynamic guest coming up for y'all in just a minute. What else we need to announce before I let them know who we got coming?
Of course, we have to announce Seven the Super Hey Roo, Seven's Big Move, which is volume 1 of our children's book, which is out right now. And you guys know that we are diligently working on volumes 2, Seven's Big Chop, Seven the Super Hey Roo. Make sure you guys head on over to the website, www.godcastbooks.com. And you can grab volume 1 right now, and volume 2 will be out soon, along with our children's activity. Boredom Busters children's activities book. So we are excited about that. And of course, you can get Sincere's music. He and our brother DJ RP Beats music on all music platforms. So make sure you go ahead and listen to all the albums. And I think that's all I have for now.
All right, cool. That's good, because I don't want to waste too much time. We got a lot to chop it up with our guest about tonight. So I definitely want to get right into it. And so let me let y'all know who we got coming to the Godcast tonight, man. We're going to be chopping it up with our brother, Dave Anderson, a.k.a. the Business Bully. And so Dave Anderson is a multi-time best-selling author, business coach, and motivational speaker. His company, the Business Bully LLC, he has helped hundreds of small and mid-sized businesses reach their full potential by making smart, calculated decisions that lead to massive profits and growth. As a speaker, Dave has empowered over 1 million people from the stage. No stranger to hard work and controversy, Dave was the driving force behind the Ricky Smiley Morning Show, reaching national syndication, and helped conceive an early version of Ricky Smiley's reality show. Dave is a passionate person who will go the extra mile and over-deliver. His aggressive, unorthodox, and in-your-face style has earned him the nickname the Business Bully. Dave has showcased his tell it like it is ruthless business teachings and best-selling books and some of the hottest urban news outlets like Ebony Magazine, The Breakfast Club, The Huffington Post, and countless others. A member of the prestigious Forbes Coaches Council, Dave has become the go-to business expert and sales trainer for thousands of entrepreneurs who buy his books and watch him on YouTube or listen to his podcast. And tonight, he is here on Sincere Love to Godcast. So let's welcome our brother to the stage, the Business Bully. Welcome to the God
Bully himself.
Listen, y'all making me feel good tonight. I gotta do something with my life.
I mean, with those credentials, you better feel good.
Gotta pop your collar.
You pop it.
I'm wearing a tank top, but I'll pop the hoodie.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
But yeah, man.
Lamar says sometimes you gotta pop out and show them.
Right.
Listen, once in a while, you know, I'm a big believer in letting people know. You gotta let them know.
Yes.
Facts.
Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes, indeed. And thank you for being here. I'll definitely want to say that again. I told you behind the scenes, but I want to say it to you live on the air. I definitely appreciate you being here tonight, taking the time. Always got to give a shout out to people who have larger platforms than us and who have appeared on certain much larger platforms than what we have here, who still take the time to come chop it up with us. That says a lot about your character and your purpose and your passion. You know what I'm saying? So we appreciate it.
I appreciate it, man. I really do.
Yes, indeed. So how we like to do things around here, my brother, is before we get into all of the hot topics of today.
Sure.
We like to get into the origin story of our guests. So take us back for people that don't know much about you. Let's get that origin story, and then we'll get into some other things.
Sure. I started in Philly at the age of 9 in radio at a little show called Kids Corner. And from there, I wound up doing television, like running it up from 9 years old all the way through, a good 30 years in the business, working with everybody from DJ Clue, Ricky Smiley, Wendy Williams, Les Brown when he replaced Dr. Laura. Like, I have had a phenomenal career. Tom Joyner, Michael Baisden. Like, I've done, what a lot of people would, give their left arm for, I guess. But for me, I realized that there was something different. There was something more that I wanted to do. I didn't know that at the time, but I knew that there was something missing. Something wasn't quite right. And I would be giving advice to salespeople. I would be helping people build out their businesses. And it was just like a knack. You know how like some people can tell you like every last single stat Steph Curry and LeBron has? Like, I'm not that guy, but I can sure enough tell you what's wrong with your business on the spot, and just help you move. And then I also realized that the best thing for me to do was to, hop on stages, be my own person. Because when I tell y'all this, I'm a horrible employee. Because you give me a job, I'm going to do it my way. I ain't going to do it the way you tell me. I'm going to do it the way that I know is the best way to go about it. But you can't do that when it's not your, you know what I'm saying? So I was horrible employee because I'm like, no, but you're wrong. And they're like, but you're fired. And I'm like, they said, somebody said they made Hove. I said, okay, make another Hove. So I decided to go out here and make me, bro, because at the end of the day, I know that I'm going to be proven right one way or the other. And I'm willing to die by that. And a lot of people don't have that. And I know that given all of those talents that I was able to develop in the broadcast, entertainment, media space, I was able to transfer a lot of that into business. And I've been in rooms that a lot of our people don't get to be in. And so I see how things run, from a corporate perspective and from a global perspective. And so I take that and I give that to my people. Sometimes it comes at the cost of people not getting it or thinking that I'm talking down to them. And the truth of the matter is I'm telling you what's coming. You don't have to like it, but this is what it is. I would rather that than cosplay like I'm the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and give you a whole bunch of BS and stand around like I'm, some type of Timu version of Professor Griff and, gripped you. I would rather tell you that entrepreneurship is hard. I would rather tell you that it's not easy. I would rather tell you that nobody cares about you being a private person and nobody cares about what you feel. And so me being me, people began to call me the business bully and I trademarked it. And so now here I am with you.
I was going to ask you, how did you come up with the name, the business bully? So now bullying their asses into listening, and following his instructions to help better their business. So that's what I think happened.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, again, we live in a society where people have 17th place trophies and they run around happy because they're in 17th place. If you was in 17th place when I came up, you was a loser. And we told you was a loser. We told you out and out sucked. And you know what that meant? That you either got better or you found something you were good at. Those were the options. It was real binary in those days. Now we're rewarding people for being mediocre. And then we have a whole bunch of magical snowflakes out here who can't function in society because I'm triggered. And
God. Don't get me started.
I'm so sick of your triggers, your trauma, your dark work. I want you to get up and just do any work. So if that means that me holding you accountable is me bullying you, well, guess what? I'll be that.
And so when did it click for you that, it was time to take the entrepreneur rap and stop building up other people's businesses and platforms? Well, you're still doing that, but you know what I'm saying, as an employee.
Yeah, for me, it was when I noticed that there was somebody else at another station in my cluster who got to go across the street and go hang out with the weather guy at Channel 6, and nobody questioned her because she had the complexion for the protection. And I would get there at like 4 o'clock in the morning, knock out my work, and I would be done by lunch, but I would still hang out. I would do production, I would do all these things. And then my wife, who I was engaged to at the time, was downtown, and I would go and pick her up. So I would leave like a half an hour earlier. And then all of a sudden, well, Dave, you're leaving early. I'm like, it's so funny how y'all not coming to me at 4 o'clock in the morning when I'm in here and you're not. Saying, you know what, Dave, just come back at 9. You don't need to be here this early, doing all this, setting records, making things pop for us, you know, giving us your creativity, breaking it down and doing all these. No, Dave, please, you're working too hard. But I leave a half an hour early, you're ready to clock me. I got an ear infection one time. And ear infections for me mean that I'm going to have vertigo, which means the room is spinning and I can't breathe. Okay. So they were like, well, when are you coming back to the office? In 2 days. Like, as a man, something inside of me said, if they can tell me when to show up to work, when to do things, if I can't take off when I'm sick, then I'm sick all the time, with or without an ear infection. I can't be a man like that. And I can't tell my kids to go for their dreams and do whatever they want to do in this world if I'm going, yes, boss. Whatever you say, boss, I was going to do it your way, boss. So, yeah, no, that was it for me. So I got myself to a point where I was like, okay, I'm going to let them fire me. And then I let them fire me. And by the time I got to the parking lot, Charlamagne, they called me. He was like, yo, they fired the midday girl at your station. If they don't give you that slot, they're hating. I said, bro, they fired me 5 minutes after the midday girl. He was like, oh, wow. He said, what you do? I said, I'm retiring. He said, you're what? I said, I'm retiring. He said, you're 34. I said, I know, I'm done. I'm done. I've been at this since I was 9 years old. I'm done. I got nothing left to prove. I have done it all. It's time for me to go do something else where they can't kick me around. They can't call me crazy. They can't say that there's something wrong with me. They can't say that I'm difficult to work with, because whenever you're black and male and straight and assertive, you're difficult to work with. If you're black and female and you don't take their mess or fall for their inappropriate nonsense, then you're a bitch or you're problematic. So guess what? I'm going to go be problematic. And when I left, I heard people say, oh, yeah, he's going to be back in radio. He's saying all that, this, that, and third. So the next time you see me in a radio station, I'll be a guest. And I never stepped foot in one until I was a guest.
Wow.
No doubt. No doubt.
So basically, they called you before you called them back.
Damn Skippy. And still do. I've turned down 28 job offers to come back.
And so how much of a blessing was social media, for you to be able to make that decision? You know what I'm saying? How much of a role did that play in it?
It was critical, but at first I wasn't even really thinking about social media. Right? I think I was so burnt out because I became iHeart's first director of social media, black or white. I was so burnt out from the whole social media thing, bro. Like, I was taking any odd job just to make money. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna figure some things out. I did a show on Blog Talk, then got with some partners, and then we bought a company into the United States called Spreaker. That company then went and turned around and we bought Blog Talk. So was social media a blessing for me? Yeah, but it wasn't the first thing that was on my to-do list. My first thing was find a way to put food on the table. And when your entire resume from the time you were 9 to the time that you're 34 is TV, radio, stand-up comedy, production, ain't nobody hiring you because they swear you're going to go back to Hollywood, Right. And so the only jobs that would take me were jobs that didn't have to pay me, and that was sales gigs. So I got really good at selling because I was selling in front of a microphone my entire career. So I know how to make people move a certain way, feel a certain way. I know what triggers you. I know what music's going to make you feel good. And so for me, I realized that, I don't need a salary. Like, damn the salary, just give me my cut. And once you understand that, you'll never be broke. Once you understand your ability to sell, you'll never be broke. And for me, translating that into social media led to speaking engagements, led to more books, led to TV appearances, led to me being interviewed, by CNN, Huffington Post, joining the Forbes Coaches Council, being in Forbes 3 times, being in Entrepreneur Magazine and Forbes at the same time in the same calendar month. So I've been really blessed, and I never had to pay for any of that. I wasn't in Forbes India. I was in actual Forbes, but not knocking anybody else's hustle. I'm just saying I didn't pay my way.
So I want you to unpack that when you said once you understand sales, you'll never be broke. Because when you first got into sales, you didn't have your own products, correct? You were selling other people's products, right?
Bro, I sold gutters, I sold home security systems, I sold cable television, I sold painting services. I probably forgot. Oh, I sold in-home grocery delivery that was really a business to try and sell freezers. But in order to get people to buy freezers, you have to have good food to put in the freezer. It was a whole backwards ass hustle. You know,
that was before Instacart.
Yeah. No, this
before Instacart.
Before Instacart, it was like, I don't think the advent of Uber had happened yet. So we're talking like 2012, 2013. I was 561 pounds and was the top salesman at Nutrisystem.
I was gonna ask you about that. We'll get to that because I know it's an amazing story behind that.
Yeah. Oh, listen, Colo, you better talk to me. They don't want to admit that I'm that dude because somehow that makes them feel less. Everybody's
Right.
Billy Badass till Billy Badass shows up, but for me, it allowed me to hone those skills because I was always like, you got to remember, like in my family there was only one person. My father's kid brother was in, God rest his soul, he was in radio, but he was a GM, so he came up through sales. I was a performer, I was an on-air talent, so I came up through programming. So the idea of me being a salesperson and wearing a suit and being a stiff, that did not appeal to me. But what did appeal to me was money and making sure that my people were good. And I ain't gonna lie to you, there were some times like 2013 was a real bad year. You know, listen, my mother was paying my mortgage and my mother-in-law was buying us groceries. It was a bad year. And I can remember how downtrodden I felt. I can remember how betrayed I felt by my industry friends who didn't call me until I popped up on this particular show, or they opened an Ebony magazine and there's a whole 2-3 page article on me. People only love you when you're able to make a hit. And so to rely on myself, I had to rely on my family, I had to rely on those skills, and I had to build them quickly. A lot of times we get real comfortable with our quote unquote steady paycheck. I call it the BiWeekly Insult. So I learned the best thing that I can do is go out here and be the salesperson, be who I am, be dynamic, find the holes in situations, you know what I mean, and then exploit them to the point where the only other opportunity is making money.
Right.
And so a lot of times I hear people say, everybody can't be a business owner. Everybody can't be an entrepreneur. Some people have to work for the entrepreneurs and the business owners. What's your response to that?
How many white people do you hear saying that?
I don't listen to too many white people, so
how many Jewish people do you hear saying that? How many Africans do you hear saying that? How many Jamaicans, Trinidadians, Ethiopians saying that? Only people I hear saying that are black people who buy into that rhetoric. Here's the thing. Every person isn't built to be a boss, but if you understood the tax code, you would understand the importance of everybody who looks like you and I to be a business owner in this corporation we call the United States. If for nothing else, then for the tax breaks. Nothing is easy, but here's the truth of the matter. Do you know what a job actually is? A job is a system by which they take your skills, talent, and ability along with your time, and they find a way to monetize it. So why can't you take your skills, talent, and ability along with your time and find a way to monetize it? Are you trying to tell me, as grown as y'all are, that there's a 7-year-old right now making $30 million reviewing toys he does not manufacture, and you having a hard time figuring it out? Shame on you. You want to be broke. And that's not me shaming anybody. That's not big me, little you. I'm still figuring things out. I am still systematizing things. I don't get everything right. But the difference is I'm not letting somebody else tell me when I can go to the bathroom. I'm not letting somebody else tell me when I can go on vacation. I'm not letting somebody else tell me when I can go see my kid play volleyball. Like, I'm not doing that. And I don't have to, because the Bible says work. It don't say job.
Right.
So yeah, you're right. If you believe that you can't do it, get out of my way. Go ahead and be the non-playable character you were designed to be. Go ahead and be the background in my foreground. I'm sorry if that upsets you, but it's the truth, boo-boo cakes. At some point, you got to make a decision, and guess what? Somebody got to be and the pips.
Do you think that a lot of that though is due to conditioning? Because us coming from communities where they say go to school, get out, of graduate, and get a good job. That's what I was taught. All my life is go to school and get a good job, and so you follow that pathway. And so when you start being around entrepreneurs, you start to get that entrepreneur. You want to do it, but you're also scared to do it because you're comfortable with what you call the biweekly
Biweekly insult.
check. The
Bi-weekly
biweekly
insult.
You you get comfortable with the biweekly insult, so you're actually scared to move, in your own purpose, and you know what I'm saying, for yourself. So what do you say to that?
Well, yes, it's conditioning, and I will, full disclosure, I am the grandson, stepson, biological son, nephew, and father of educators. I am a college professor. However, even with that, my mother built a salon, my father built a corner store in the hood. I don't really believe in excuses, because here's the thing. When I was a kid, there was no such thing as the internet, so I had to learn that. When I was a kid, I didn't know how to ride a bike, so I had to learn that. When I was a kid, there was no such thing as social media, so I had to learn that. When I was a kid, I didn't know how to read, so I had to learn that. You can unlearn everything that you have been conditioned to believe. At some point, you got to take responsibility for you. And at
Stop
some point,
bullying me. I'm just kidding.
We ain't even a good half hour into this. I'm just warming up. But that's the thing. Like, yes, there's conditioning, but here's the thing. Y'all don't have a problem with conditioning when they got 17 seasons of basketball wives making you look like a slut. You ain't got no problem with conditioning when they sit up here and tell you that the guy who wrote the 94 crime bill is your best friend, and the guy that was sitting up here unionizing black people is all of a sudden a racist. You got no problem with conditioning then. You got no problem with them telling you that, yeah, we do something for black people because we help with incarceration. So all of us are criminals?
Right.
You got no problem with conditioning then. You got no problem with conditioning with the Zeus Network. You got no problem with conditioning with Andy Cohen on basketball, with Real Housewives of Atlanta. You got no problem with conditioning when they tell you gel and weave, BBLs is killing y'all and your thighs don't match. The only time you got a problem with conditioning is when I tell you to do something for yourself. Whose fault is that?
Yeah, that's going to be a big problem if I fall under that, ideology, or, what I'm saying? Definitely. We have to start looking within and stop, like you said, making excuses. And if you really want something, you're going to go get it. My mom always told me in relationships with a man, anything a man loves, he's going to take care of, so you don't have to chase anyone. And the same thing, anything that you want to get, you got to go and get it. It's not going to come knock on the door to you. You have to work for it. Like you said, like we do at these jobs.
That's it. Like, and when I say that, it's not that I don't say that it's easy, because I'm not that. I'm not the guy from the community college with the weird hat talking about you could get up, you can go to class, and you could do it at night. No. But you make the choice. You make the choice. You either choose to be the master of your fate, or you choose to let somebody else monetize your time. And both of those are living, I guess. One's not much of a life, in my opinion. But if you like it, I love it. I just don't want none of it.
Can you share about 3 key factors that help contribute to your success as an entrepreneur?
Yes. One, I'm not going to lose a wink of sleep no matter what you say about me. I'm good. Like, people have been talking about me since I showed up. So y'all worry too much about what people say on a device, so you don't use the device, right? That's key number 1. I don't care about what you say about me. You can love me, and while I appreciate it, I don't believe it. I don't believe my hype, and I don't believe my detractors. I have a relationship with myself, and I have a relationship with my creator that supersedes anybody's cheers or boos. I am focused on what I am here to do, because I know one thing for sure, and I ain't found a person who can prove me wrong yet. In order to live this life, you make a deal that you're not getting out of it alive. You got to die to leave here. So how you gonna die? You gonna die like a bitch? Or you gonna die like an adult that can create something? You have in your veins right now The blood of the people who built the Capitol, who built this country, who created absolutely everything that matters. But you also have the blood in you of some of those slaves that Harriet should have or would have shot. It's what you choose to respond to in your mitochondrial DNA. That's point one. Point number two, I am not the smartest person in my team. I got people who work with me, who, and to work for me is to work with me, who have two conditions when it comes to working with me. Number one, you have to have your own business. I don't want to be your sole everything. Even though I ain't got no problems, I want you to make sure that you have something of your own. And because I'm not the organizer in my organization, I have somebody who's organized. I live by my calendar. I don't have to be all things to all people. I surround myself with people who are better than me so that I can be phenomenal at this. The goal when you start a business is to start off as Walt Disney and walk out as Mickey Mouse. To put that in another way that most Black people over the age of 35 can understand, I went from Marcus Graham to Lady Eloise. I'm the face of the package. That's it. That way you can come see me in Lavender Hill. That's two. Three. Never be too big to do something. I say yes to everything. I don't wait for somebody else to make it cool. I'm not worried about if somebody else wouldn't do it. You know, I just talked to a young man that I mentor, and I was explaining to him because he was like, well, my manager says that we shouldn't go off and be guests on other people's podcasts because we don't want to mix messages. I said, bro, I've done podcasts where there have been absolutely nobody in the audience. But you know what's going to happen? It's going to be some fire-ass clips, and I'm going to make sure my team makes them things viral. I don't say no to any opportunity because I don't know where the next great opportunity that God's going to put my way is going to come from. And I can't just look for the big things. I got to look for everything. And so that's that, man. I think it's very important for you to understand that you don't believe your own hype, that you have people who are better than you, and that you say yes to absolutely everything until you can get to a point where you can say no to anything.
And I could testify to that. Brother didn't know me from a hole in the water, didn't know what I had going on. I reached out. He said yes immediately. He said, let's do it.
Absolutely.
When I sent the email, I was like, when? I can come today. I was like, I can come today. I was like, no, next week. No, I'm just kidding. But it was immediate. He was like,
I'm going down one day. I ain't putting it out there, but it's a fact. In 100 years, everybody who's watching this ain't going to be here.
Right.
It's going to be a whole new class. That's why when old people say we live in our last days, yes, we all are. It's the end of the world as we know it. Yes, absolutely it is. Because 100 years ago, they would still decide whether they was going to use horse and buggies or drive regular cars. Like this thing's going to keep moving. So I want to get it all out while I can.
And so
that was funny that you brought that up too. Sorry.
No, you good. Go ahead.
I was saying it was funny that he brought that up, like surrounding yourself with people that are better than you. And I shared this a couple of days ago from Brother King Cam. If you have $1 million goal, why are you around minimum wage thinkers? And that when you say what you're seeing, posting this a couple of days ago and then hearing you say it, it's like everything really, really makes sense because you're saying the same thing. Basically.
That confirmation.
Surround yourself with confirmation. You surround yourself with people that are doing better than you because it's only, if you want something, it's only to be better, and what better way to get it from people that are doing it? They can teach you.
I'm not trying to learn nothing from somebody that ain't been where I'm trying to go, who ain't never done nothing that I'm trying to do. Like my mentor is a guy named Bob, and Bob is old and rich, like real rich. And when I sit down with Bob, usually Bob lives in Dallas, and so I'll fly out to Dallas, and he'll be like, "Hey, meet me at the country club at 7:30." And so I get to the country club at 7:30, and other than me, the blackest thing in there is the napkins. And when he talks, you know what I do? Nothing.
Shut up.
Damn right. Because when billionaires are talking, I ain't got nothing to say. End of discussion. That's it. Like some of y'all, not y'all, because I don't know y'all, I think you're lovely people. But generally speaking, if it don't apply, let it fly. Some of y'all are too cool for school. Y'all, can't nobody tell you nothing. And that's right. I'm a perpetual student. You know, I'm constantly reading, I'm constantly writing, I'm constantly working, I'm constantly thinking, right? The reason I love comic books and professional wrestling is because it allows me to shut my brain off for a couple of hours. Because I'm always thinking about what's new, what's next, what's now, how can I make this better? And I do that because I'm surrounded by people who are kicking my ass. That's it.
Seem to have a high level of self-awareness and determination about yourself. And so I mentioned earlier, I know that there has to be an amazing story behind the dramatic weight loss. So let us get that story.
All right. So listen, it's very few people. Listen, if you've ever paid attention to my content, I challenge people to try and watch me all the time on whatever topic it is. If you got to axe the grind and you got something that I said that you don't like, challenge me. Let's go. There's only a handful of people on the planet who have ever left me speechless. One is my wife, and she says to me one day, she says, "You lied to me." I say, "What you mean?" So I'm like, I'm married to a black woman, for the record. I'm crazy, stupid. You know what I mean? And so I was sitting here I'm going through my head, like, what did I lie? Like, I'm literally breaking my neck. And she said, "You said you promised me forever." And I said, "Yeah." She was like, "Well, how many elderly 561-pound people you know?"
Right.
And the quote R. Kelly, "Oh," and that's all I can say. Oh. And then the other part of that is I have daughters, right? And I don't want my daughters to be in a world without me, you know, and I'm trying to stave that off as long as humanly possible. And then, if I'm being honest with you, I wasn't feeling good. I didn't know I was sick.
Right.
But I was sick. That's too much weight for anybody to have on you, right? Like, I'm 250 pounds right now, and I got loose skin, and like I've got a lot of it taken off, but I still got to get more taken off, and I still feel heavy. Like, if I gain 5 pounds, I'm ready to have a heart attack. I'm like, oh my God, people are back.
You feel it.
I am the new Lori Harvey. I dropped 5 X's in 2 years. You understand what I'm saying? When I tell you the ability, like, you regular people have really undersold how good it is to be a normal human being, right? Meaning to run up the steps and not have to breathe heavy, to be able to walk for 3 miles. Do you know what it's like to walk around Six Flags right now and not have to stop at every other bench? It's great. To go into Target and not have to wear, oh, is that an extra large? Oh, that fits. Like, I am free. Because here was the thing, I had a conversation because I get frustrated. I get really frustrated with my people because my whole thing is, and when I say this, I need you to understand that I'm really coming from a very genuine space. I'm like, yo, like, why won't they listen to me? If I talk to them nice, they don't listen. If I tell them direct, they won't listen. But they're constantly complaining about things that I'm trying to help them with. And then when I do make sense, somebody will say, "Oh, well, you're fat, da 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 da." And I told my wife, I said, "Yeah, like, once I lose this weight, they ain't gonna have shit to say because they can't attack my intelligence, they can't attack my record,
Right.
they can't attack that I've written all these books." And she laughed, and when she got finished laughing at my dumb ass, she said, "Oh, they're gonna find something to say anyway." So now the new thing is, oh, he's a Freemason, so he's with the Illuminati and he's got child brides and also.
I can imagine
I
that.
will find anything, but
can't win for losing.
I did it for me. And I did it because it was the last thing I couldn't conquer. I have conquered my mind. I have conquered business. I have conquered the entertainment industry. I had not conquered my ability to stop digging myself into a grave with a knife and fork. And so now I've got a pretty good handle on it. It's still a battle. You know, I like food, and Black people, we love food. You know, the best food you have is repast fried chicken after a funeral. It's delicious. Listen, what do they put in fried chicken? If I could get the recipe for dead nigga chicken, I'd be a billionaire.
That repast chicken hit different.
Not the repast chicken.
That repast chicken hit different, nigga.
If you ever had a bad piece of repast chicken, I'm telling you, listen, use a line run. Repast chicken hit different. That mac and cheese be extra cheesy. Them collards be nice. They don't even be running on your plate. Oh, repast chicken is good, but what do we do? When we get married, there's food. When we get divorced, there's food. When we celebrate, there's food. When somebody dies, there's food. Somebody's sick, there's food. Everything about us is food. And then you want to talk about conditioning? What does a girl do when she has a breakup? She puts on some gray sweatpants, she sits on her couch, and she eats a pint of Haagen-Dazs. Okay.
Food.
So when you're addicted to something, what do you do? And no diss to the alcoholics, no diss to the drug addicts, but what do you have to do when the one thing you're addicted to is the one thing you need to survive?
Right.
So, for me, the constant battle, with the kitchen, but I do my best to do my 15,000 steps a day, do Kempo and Krav Maga, I lift heavy, and listen, I like it here. I like having one chin. This is a neck. I don't know if y'all know this, but I just got
it. This is a neck. This is a neck.
Because I used to be head and shoulders.
So you say you 250 now. How much were you at your heaviest?
561.
Man.
You can say damn, it's okay, everybody does.
Man. 561. Yeah.
So do you look at My 600 Pound Life though? Is that like one of your favorite shows?
I look at it for different reasons. For example, there's this one episode where the lady she's in the bed and she's frying chicken in the bed, and I got to tell you that bed chicken, that bed chicken look dope as shit. Meanwhile, I'm just like, yo. But here's the thing, right? I, as a business coach, as a speaker, as a 22-time best-selling author, I'm just like Dr. Nazaldin. What do I need to lose this weight, Dr. Nazaldin?
Well, first thing you need to do, Cynthia, is you have to have a 1,200 calorie diet. You need to go ahead and do that.
Well, I read the diet, doctor, now, and what I don't like any of the food in here. And I'm picky.
Well, obviously not. You're 700 pounds. You're not picky at all.
You sound just like him.
My whole thing is there's no excuse if you want to make it happen. I'm gonna find a way to make it happen. And for me, look, Kevin Baker. I actually went to high school with him. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Kevin Baker.
What's up, Kevin?
This dude was so dope. My first day of school, I think Kev was probably like a junior or senior when I was a freshman. And he was like, you don't know this, but I'm so dope, I got my own dance. I said, how do you have your own dance? He was like, yo, you, random person. Yo, you right, do the K dance. And it was like, this man had to be in literally the roughest school in America and make anybody at any given moment do your dance. I don't know how he did it, but
shout out to Kevin Baker. Kevin Baker in the building.
Man is a legend. But the thing of it is, man, I just want to be the best version of myself, whatever that looks like. And I ain't found it yet. And so until I find it, I'm gonna keep going. And I think when I find it, I'm dead. So I'm not in a rush, but I'm going for that.
Yeah, well, don't do that.
No,
too many businesses need you. I think too many people need your guidance. So that their business can thrive. So we can't have you go anywhere right now.
I'm trying. People, look, there's two things that people don't want to do. They don't want to listen and they don't want to cut a check. They'll go pay a white man, exorbitant amounts of money, or they'll go listen to, some cosplayer whose only business is being a substitute teacher and getting on a podcast. But when people actually build businesses, they don't want to hear that because it's not flashy enough, and I don't drive a Lambo. I drive a Nissan Rogue. My house is paid for. I ain't trying to flex on y'all because I don't need to. Right. Smart people save their money, and in the rooms I'm in, ain't nobody buying a Gucci belt. That's not to say I don't indulge because I got some things that I like. I spend a lot of money on glasses. Kid, I'm I got made fun of. I like nice earrings. These are just the home earrings. These ain't the show earrings. The show earrings are like display, like Garnett's. These are home earrings.
Well, like they do with Tariq. What you doing with all that money?
Where you get all that money?
They want to know what you're doing with all that money.
Payroll.
Where you get all that money?
Payroll. Trying to make it work.
Hey,
man.
but speaking of cut the check,
sure,
we did hear you speak at the Rally for Reparations.
Yeah,
you did great, outstanding job.
I went to the first one.
Outstanding job at the Rally for Reparations. That was excellent. You hit on some really, really good points. And one of the things that you touched on, since we're talking about repass chicken and all of that too, one of the things that you touched on was the importance of life insurance.
Yes.
Some of the things that we could be doing to give reparations to ourselves. Can you get into that a little bit for our audience?
Here's the thing. When you take away the Industrial Revolution and you take away slavery and Jim Crow from white people, the number one way that they have generational wealth is through life insurance policies. Now, I heard a couple of, tap dancing, bucking Negroes say, oh, well, that's easy for him to say, because if you can't pay the bill for the life insurance, then you can't have the life insurance. Well, okay, first of all, you dingbats have been listening to these grifters and these idiots tell you that you need a whole life insurance policy and you got to get IUL and also fancy names. I'm going to be the bank. You making 40 grand a year. You're not going to do that. Term life insurance and then taking half of the difference of what you would spend on a whole policy and investing it in the stock market will give you a better return. Because here's what happens. When you get that policy, that whole policy, and again, entertainment purposes only, I'm not an insurance agent. I can only tell you what works for me. You take it anecdotally. Any advice I give you is on you because I'm not giving you advice. I'm just telling you what I know. What winds up happening is they will take the cash value of that and not give it to your loved ones when you die. But what happens is if you have a term life insurance policy, you can make one that makes sense. Like, I know I probably got 30 years left. Cool. No problem. I'm in the best shape of my life. Man, I took that damn physical so quick. I was like, oh, pull your skill out. Watch this 249 pop up. Boop, boop. You know what I'm saying? And then the other part. Oh, my man, Jeff Brown. That's my homeboy right there.
Yes, I just seen him not too long ago.
Y'all don't notice, but Jeff Brown is actually Jim Henson because he puts his hand up D.L. Hughley's ass and jokes come out. Anyway, that's the only time D.L. Hughley. Anywho, the thing of it is, right? We've got to understand that the best thing that we can do for ourselves is get insurance so that we can take care of ourselves. Now, the other thing of that is, right? When it comes to what we are doing with our money, we've got to start looking at how we can find ways to diversify our accounts, right? How we move differently, what we're actually investing in. And I think the best thing that we can invest in is ourselves. We need to invest in our finances. We need to invest in our children's future. We need to invest in we need to invest in our businesses, and we need to invest in really, really good ideas. Now, for people say, well, why would I get a term policy? Because when that term is over, then I'm out all that money. Well, you don't seem to say that about your car insurance, which is a term policy. Come nuts. Like, start thinking smart. See, y'all want to spend money. I'm trying to find ways to help you make your money grow. Why don't you have a Roth IRA and start putting money in it? Because we know you blew it at 18, you didn't do it. At 25, you didn't do it. At 30, you didn't do it. We're the most underinsured and underinvested people in this country who have the most disposable income. And when I say that, that comes with an asterisk, because what we actually have is income that we dispose of that lasts us less than, 24 hours in our community. So yeah, I think life insurance is an easy step in order for you to make the moves you need to make. And without it, it doesn't make any sense. And I know everybody else is like, well, let's go to the government. Let's get our money. Yes. And it's not an either or. And for the people who had an issue with what I said on that stage, I was on the stage, you weren't. I had the microphone, you didn't. And by the way, the people, the man who put it on has been a friend of mine for 20 years. The woman who I followed is one of my top clients. Her name is Vicky Dillard. You're welcome.
Shout out to Vicky Dillard.
Shout out to Vicky Dillard. That's my
before sister. You go thinking that somebody is talking down to you, I am giving you a perspective that nobody else on that stage had the balls to give you. And that's
what was the problem?
We got to get together because they don't want to hear accountability, bro. When I show up, they get mad because I'm telling them that there are things that they're not doing. And then there's somebody like, I'll take care of my kid. Exceptions don't disprove the rule. We do have a father absence problem. We are the most active fathers, but we're also the most absent fathers.
Okay, I see what their problem was. Okay,
yeah, of course, because you don't want to hear that. And my whole thing is, we used to be able to check each other. We used to be able to have conversations. We used to be able to tell each other, hey man, we could do this, that, and the third. You know what my favorite day was when I was in school? Report card day. No, report card day. You want to know why? Number one, I hated school and I hated grades. But the reason I loved it is because when I came home, as soon as I hit the block, I would go not to my mother, not to my brother, not to my uncles, but to the drug dealers. You want to know why? Because each drug dealer was giving out $20 per A. So I come home with
$350.
Because it was 3 in my neighborhood. So I'm coming home with $350. And then I get paid for my family. Because that was the thing. If you're giving me money, then you know I'm not going to be sitting up here trying to be a dope boy. We don't have them.
Right.
So yeah.
We don't have those type of niggas no more.
Sorry. So I don't have a problem with being the bad guy. I'm the Ric Flair of this.
And the thing is, people gotta be more mature about certain things, because I know some people come around with those talking points about absent fathers and all of that and self-accountability, but they're coming from a bad place because they really don't care about Black society in the first place. They don't have a real concern. This is just a deflection. Whenever we're talking about white supremacy or getting reparations or whatever, you have people with bad faith arguments that use those talking points to deflect away from the real problem. But obviously, you hear at the Rally for Reparations, a grassroots organized event for us to, get our message out there about reparations specifically for foundational Black Americans. Obviously, you're coming from a good place.
Yeah, I don't think Tariq Nasheed would have written books with me if I was coming from a bad place. I don't think Vicky Dillard would come to me for advice if I was coming from a bad place. Like let's just simple facts. Reza Islam, when
my God, shout out to Reza.
2 things about Reza. Number 1, when they couldn't find a big enough place to house his mother's funeral, I shut down my streaming network and gave it to him so that people could see his mother's funeral. I didn't charge him a thing. I didn't make a stink about it. I just did it. When Revolt TV was too chicken shit to carry Minister Farrakhan's message, and when Fox Soul was too chicken shit to broadcast it, Business Bully TV did, at no expense to the nation. So it was NOI.org and Business Bully TV. But everybody who's talking this doesn't have one Black employee. I'm looking at about $299. So we are not the same. And then the other part of that is, it's funny how everybody who's got something to say about, this person's a sellout, this, that, and where? How have I sold out if 96% of my clientele are Black and 96% of my staff are Black? Who am I selling out to? And it's funny, the people calling people sellouts are millionaires. Roland Martin's a millionaire. D.L. Hughley's a millionaire. Plies is a millionaire and ain't had a hit in 15 years.
You hear me?
But that's who you listen to. That's it. Everybody who's a badass that you admire calls me, because I happen to be the Clarence Avon of my generation. I'm the guy you don't hear of until it's time for me to make a move. You need me. I'm a necessary good that you think is a necessary evil. Bro, not once. I ain't got no white wife. I ain't got no half-breed kids, and I'm not judging people who do. But let's talk about what's actually Black out here.
Right. Or you ain't got no husband.
Right. I don't want to hear no conversation about nobody talking about nothing if you ain't got one. Don't talk to me about nothing. When your goal is to be the next thought on Zeus, don't talk to me.
I
when
think
you
networks like that should be shut
old
down.
in your cousin Mickey's basement and you still trying to rap over beats he made with Fruity Loops, don't talk to me. Because I don't see you at the bank. I don't see you in our communities. There's a young brother who I mentor who called me and he said, Dave, I need some advice. I'm about to take over this church and I want to have an impact. What should I do? And I sat down because I was in between calls and I sat down and I said, these are all the things that I would do. Because, fun fact, I happen to be a minister and a theologian. So I'm like, yo, do this, do that, do that, do this, because the church sucks. And I wish y'all would hold Jamal Bryant to the same standard that you hold my Black ass. You would hold Jakes to the same standard that you hold my Black ass. You would hold Joel Osteen to the same standard that you hold my Black ass. But you don't. Because you got all the smoke for the people who are actually trying to make your situation better, because they're telling you something other than that you walk on water and heal palsy children. If you want smoke, I'm the fire. Let's go. But until such time as we can see your payroll and the Black people on it,
zip it.
I don't want to hear it.
Man,
that I ain't got a dog out Fruity Loops. It's just an example that everybody can get with.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Let me pull up your website, man, so people know where to go check you out at.
Oh, for sure.
And let me see where we are here. And so it's the businessbullyshow.com. Y'all can visit the businessbullyshow.com.
See, now hold on now, man. Hold on now. Wait. The website you're talking about is businessbullyshow.com. But if you really want my 7-figure sales script, if you want to talk to my team and I about starting, growing, and scaling your business, if you look right there, it says thebusinessbully.com/without paid ads. A lot of these people are telling you to dump a bunch of money up Zuckerberg's ass. No, thebusinessbully.com without paid ads. I got some dope stuff for you, absolutely free of charge. We can have a conversation, help you get to where you need to be. And all I'm saying to you is we got to start looking up. We got to start looking at what's actually going to help. That's it. You know, like I want us to really have the breadth of knowledge it takes because it's out here. And one of the reasons that the dominant society ain't worried about what it is that you're doing is because they already know that they can outlast you.
Yep.
That's it. So it says how to gain and dominate the internet and get high-paying clients in 2024 without spending a penny on ads.
Yeah, that's
so. How do we do that, sir?
Somebody's about to have there's about to be a job opening at the Business Bully because somebody just messed up on the headline. But yeah, man.
You see that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
We got it though. We got it.
Yeah, but the thing of it is, right? We're spending too much money. Like I always get this. People get on the call with me, right? And they'll say, "Oh, Mr. Anderson, you know what, man? Look at all those black women, those unmistakable black women whose businesses I've helped grow and scale. Oh, look at that. So funny." But they'll say, "Well, you know, I don't know. I want to get on the store shelves and I want to be in Walmart. I want to be on Target." I'm like, you haven't dominated the internet yet.
Right.
I want to spend a bunch of money on Facebook ads. You haven't dominated the internet yet. Until such time as you have dominated the internet, everything else takes a back seat. We're not there yet. Like when I was a kid, my brother took me to the Cheltenham Mall and I saw a double feature of Crush Groove and The Last Dragon. And when I saw Crush Groove, I saw Sheila E. with the drumsticks. She took the drumsticks, she dropped on the ground and caught it, this, that, and third. My Uncle Jimmy played with Carlos Santana at Woodstock. And I came to my Uncle Jimmy because he lived in our house. And I said, "Uncle Jimmy, you got to teach me how to play those because I saw Sheila E. and she stood down, and she dropped the drumstick and she picked it back up." He was like, "All right, cool. So I'm going to need you to do this." And I was like, no, I need the sticks. He's like, no. Before I can get you to do all this, and he starts hitting me with all these, Tito Puente type violence with the bongos and whatnot. Before I can take you and hit you with the cowbell, I'm going to need you to be able to have control over your fingers.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and that's what I'm trying to get people to understand. The best thing you can do, the only way to level the playing field is to dominate the internet first. Once you do that, then they will come to you. But you keep going to people, "Please, sir, might you put me on? Please, sir." Like a bunch of melanated Oliver Twists. And you wonder why you ain't making the money. But
Now, is there a specific business that you can help people scale, and succeed in, or you can touch basically any and everything, and get you to, to another level?
Anything like I tend to stay away from MLMs. I don't like them. Personal preference. No diss to anybody who uses those things. God bless you. It's just not a thing for me. In 1991, I got to be a gopher for Shaka Khan. And she sat down with the band for the first time, and they were going to go over the set list. And they were like, "Well, Ms. Khan, how you want to do?" She said, "First of all, Shaka." They said, "Okay, Shaka, what key do you want?" "It doesn't matter." And they said, what do you mean?" "I can cut it in any key." And they're like, "You sure?" She said, "I'm Shaka Khan." And sure enough, they were playing everything in different keys. And it doesn't matter what it is. If your gift is, I'm not the waist bead bully. I'm not the shea butter bully. I'm not the mixtape bully. I'm the business bully. I ain't got one I can't turn around unless you're unwilling to listen and move. I'm not responsible for the plays you choose to run on your own. I'm only responsible for what I tell you to do. So yeah, I'm sure there's some businesses I can't help. I mean, businesses that suck, I can't really do much for, that aren't willing to change. But other than that, no, I can cut it in any key.
I can cut it in any key.
Now,
I
what
like that
happens?
one.
Um, and what happens if the business is just an idea? They haven't even started it yet. Are you able to help people, from idea to starting, or does it have to be an existing business?
Everything starts with an idea. It's always harder to get off the ground with an idea simply because it takes a lot more time, right? But even with that, I've taken out, for example, there was a couple named Keisha and Xavier Gibson, and during the pandemic, they realized it wasn't it was a run on toilet paper. And they was like, "Yo, we got to start some toilet paper." And they came to me, they cut the check, and they said, "What do we do?" And I was like, "Okay, cool." So I went into my mental Rolodex, and I was like, "You know what makes things dope? Two things. Number one, an opportunity. The other thing that makes things dope is creating marketing around something that's so simple, but everybody gets it, right? There's a reason that Barry Gordy didn't name Diana Ross's group the Mediocres.
The Supremes.
There's a reason he ain't called Otis and them the Averages, the They Cools. He called them the Temptations, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. So we came up with Triumph Tissue, and then we got a color palette that was all royalty. And I said, don't waste no gas to wipe your ass. And boom, toilet paper. Not only that, we had a subscription. So we took toilet paper and then we wiped everybody's ass with it. Ask Ludacris what he wiped his ass with. Play with somebody else. Don't play with
love it.
That's the thing. Ideas are just that. They're ideas. They don't have any bad habits. It takes longer, typically, and you have to put in a lot more work, but it's not an impossible situation.
Got it. Now I want to ask you this. This ain't really a business question, but since you've been somewhat of an inside man in the entertainment world and all of that, why is it that we don't get more Black entertainers who speak out and speak truth to power when it comes to real issues concerning Black people in general, foundational Black Americans specifically?
I love this question. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you. It's a great question, Ceci. I swear to God, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the fact that nobody has caught on to the fact that the fix is in. The days of, the last time there was any type of balance in the Force, Star Wars people, stay with me for a minute. The last time there was any type of balance in the Force was around 1991, 1992. The number one record at the time was Fight the Power.
Fight the Power.
You know what happened? The LA riots happened, the Rodney King riots happened. And they was like, never before, never again. And then that's when they said, oh, we're taking all the positive stuff off. You remember when rappers and singers would get together and make like these collaborative songs to stop gun violence?
We Are the World.
And self-destruction.
We ain't got none of that.
Same gang.
No, ain't none of that. All the same gang. Ain't no You Will Know. Ain't none of that no more. You know what we get?
Sexy Red.
And I am a Megan Thee Stallion fan.
But
we get better as pussy. We don't get nothing else. And you want to know why? Name me a Black-owned record company. Go.
It's over.
It's done.
It's over.
Yeah.
There hasn't been one. Barry Gordy sold. Right? People think that they was getting after Uncle Luke for lewd conduct. No, they were getting after Uncle Luke because Uncle Luke kept finding loopholes. And he signed Professor Griff to Luke Records. And Luke was the only Negro that had a record company and distribution. All these cats you run around here thinking are Black-owned record companies, they're record labels, they're imprints. Man, anybody can have an imprint. Stop playing with it.
There's a difference. There's a difference.
And so if you don't control the means of production, and you don't control the image that's in the media, and you don't control what people constantly hear, and everybody who does is a Stein, a Cohen, or a Clive Davis, what you expect to happen?
But look now, LaFace is an imprint.
LaFace was an imprint.
It's an imprint.
Rap-A-Lot is a record company, but it also has distribution by somebody else.
And so that's the thing now, Dave, though. Now, anybody, my music is on the same platform as anybody that signed to any of these record labels. If you could just upload your stuff to Spotify, Apple Music, whatever the case may be, what the hell do you need the record labels for at this point?
Because people are lazy, bro. This is the part nobody likes to hear. People are lazy.
I literally got to push 2 buttons.
Yeah, no, but here's the thing. After you push those 2 buttons, you're still competing with Jay-Z.
Right.
You're still competing with the Migos. You're still competing with whomever else. The thing of it is, are you willing to go on the road and start pushing it? Are you willing to create a Patreon for your fans? Are you willing to create experiences that they can't get anywhere else? The day I met David Banner, the reason I knew that man was going to be one of my best friends for the rest of my life is because he came in, and I was shocked because normally what happens before artist comes into a radio station, the street team comes in and they start hanging up posters and that and third. And I saw this really big ass street team dude with a David Banner shirt on, and he had an industrial stapler, and he was stapling into the radio station wall his poster. And I looked, I said, David Banner? He said, yeah. I said, bro, why are you hanging your own posters? He said, if I am not willing to hang my own posters, I don't deserve to have them. A lot of people do not move with that energy. A lot of people.
Banner Vision is black-owned business, by the way.
That's it. That's it. No Limit is distributed by Universal. Keep them company. I can do this all day. Don't play with me.
These are imprints.
Label.
These are imprints. He's absolutely right. That's the reason why I said none.
Yeah, none. They don't exist.
I said none.
Barry Gordy sold Motown. Bob Johnson sold BET, and you're wondering why there's no balance in the force. You're wondering why there's no positivity in our imagery. We don't control nothing. All we are performers. We are rarely producers. We're even rarer when it comes to being management. What do we own? What do we control? And here's the thing that should really get your goat. Before they were coming after Diddy for all the stuff that Diddy did, and everybody knew Diddy did it, and Diddy done did it, and Diddy's real crime is that he diddled a lot of people that people didn't realize that Diddy diddled, and diddled with people who didn't realize that people were diddling because people were trying to diddle on the down low. That's why they came in there with all those boxes and took all those tapes out, because Diddy got more dirt than Epstein does on his entire island. And so they want to get all those things out. A whole lot of people who could be implicated, but that's a conversation for another day. But before Diddy did all that, Diddy was a billionaire. Jay-Z was a billionaire. T.I. was a multi-millionaire. How come nobody got together and created their own means of distribution and production? Why is it that
Kanye West too?
They tried to. You see what happened when Kanye tried, right?
Right. And when Jay Prince, who was Jay Prince, Irv Gotti, and Suge Knight tried the same thing.
Yep, they will shut you down. The original Murder Inc. was Jay-Z, Ja Rule, and DMX.
Right.
Most people don't realize that. I mean, all you gotta do is, do a little bit of research. They don't want us together because the most dangerous thing we can be is together.
Right.
That requires work. And then the other part of that is everybody want to be the person. Everybody got to be the driver of the bus. Nobody just wants to be on the bus. Everybody want to be the leader. And that's the gag. So for me, until such time as y'all get off the tee and stop thinking that all you got to do is go platinum, because here's just simple math. Ludacris sold 50,000 records at $7 a pop out the trunk.
Straight to consumer.
Straight to consumer.
Straight to consumer. And the blueprint is there, man. You got young dudes like the brother LaRussell out there in the Bay, who's showing people how to do it. Nipsey was on that.
You know what they did to him?
Ryan Leslie been on that, teaching the game for a long time. So you're right, man. I think it's a bit of laziness and it's a bit of fear of power. People get scared of power.
Right.
Here's the thing. I never make an announcement until it's too late for you to do something about it. By the time boom, it's already done. Do you think it was a coincidence that nobody knew I was coming to the FBA rally?
Yeah.
It's already done. Surprise. He's not on the flyer. Surprise. You can't prepare for what you don't know what's coming.
Right.
We don't move like that. What we do is we got to show everybody everything we're doing. And we're going to make an announcement and whatnot. And then when they shut it down, you're so shocked. Oh, Tupac gonna do Death Row East? No, you ain't. Boom. Oh, Martin, we coming to get our check? No, you won't. Malcolm, hey, I'll work with people. You can't join us, but I'll work with you because I pray with white people over in Mecca. Oh, no, you will not. It's the same game. Yeah. That's still business. Here's the business. As long as y'all are willing to dance for them, as long as you're willing to take those ridiculous advances, how is it that DJ Dick in the Dirt is all of a sudden the top rapper and you never heard of this sumbitch? Half of these folks you ain't never heard of, can't pronounce their name, this young YN this and older that NBA that. Stop. I say no. No, bro. By the time
different,
you're already dead. By the time you see me, it's over. We don't move like that. We got to do everything in public on their platforms. Like, and here's, I'll give you an example, right? Even when we do our platforms, you know what we do? And again, he gonna get mad at me, but I don't care because I tried to help him. He ain't want to listen. Isaac Hayes III is his own biggest problem.
He is. I follow him. He irks me sometimes.
Here's why. First of all, I knew his father. His father was a genius. His father and a guy named David Porter made a song about having to piss called "Hold On, I'm Coming." Because David Porter just had to pee. He said, "Hold on, I'm coming." Isaac Hayes was already. Here's the gag. He ain't his daddy. And the thing of it is, when you look at YouTube, there are YouTube stars. When you look at TikTok, there are TikTok stars. When you look at fan bases, Isaac Hayes on Instagram talking about how great fan base is and going after Kim Kardashian and Amanda Seales and people who don't give a fuck about you instead of building a fan base star. And when you say that to, oh, you don't understand, and and we love Joe Biden because Donald Trump bad.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. And that's the thing.
Yes, he does. He's on that heavy.
It always circles back to that.
Always.
No matter what the topic is, it always circles back to, and that's why you got to vote for Joe Biden, because Donald Trump. Lord Jesus.
Can I ask you a question? Because every time I get a bunch of text messages from Joe Biden, and it says, "Can you give me some money? Can you give me some money so that we can beat Donald Trump?" But didn't you already beat Donald Trump? Why is it you don't run off of what you did in the past 3.5 years?
Right.
And I'm not talking about putting a black woman on the Supreme Court, because if putting black people in the Supreme Court was going to be the thing that was going to make something happen, then by that particular notion, then George Bush Sr. is a legend for putting Clarence Thomas on the Supreme Court. Oh, that's right. That's not tangible, but it sounds good to you because y'all like damn, performances and butter biscuits. You love the symbolism. You don't want any substance. And as long as you want sizzle and the smell of the steak and you never have to bite into that porterhouse, well, guess what, boo-boo cakes? You are the easiest sucker on the planet. That's why y'all vote that way 92% of the time. It sucks to be you. So yeah, that's why that happens.
So let us get your take on the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. You think it was staged? You think it was real? What do you think the aftermath of it is going to be?
How do you stage something when a volunteer firefighter of 30 years gets killed?
Well, to some people, that's more evidence that it was staged. Or why it wasn't no regular bum ass nigga that got killed. Happened to be a hero that got killed. So it's the perfect narrative.
In the conspiracy to keep black people from making real money.
Say that again.
I said, I wish y'all put this much time in the conspiracy to keep black people from making real money. I really wish we would put time into that. Here's the truth of the matter. The Secret Service, I remember when I was in 7th grade, the Secret Service came to my school. And I said, is it true that like your job is to take a bullet for the president? And the Secret Service agent said, what's your name? I said, my name's David. She said, David, that's absolutely not true. My job is to push the president out of the way of the bullet. My whole thing is, how does a scrawny little 20-year-old kid who never voted but is a registered Republican get up on a roof and was told and people were telling them 25 minutes before he took that horrible ass shot that he was up on the roof and nobody did anything? I am telling you from firsthand experience. When I was I've never told this story publicly, but I'm telling it publicly now. Ricky Smiley made the fatal mistake one time of talking about somebody needs to kill Barbara Bush. When he said that on air, by the time he left the building, and I'm doing what's called recaps and sending stuff out to the affiliate radio stations, the secretary calls me. She said, Mr. Anderson, there's some folks down here who want to see you now. And I was like, oh, yeah. So I go downstairs and they're like, are you David Stephen Anderson? I said, yes. Nobody called me by my government name. I was like, yeah. Do you know where Broderick Stephen Smiley is? I say, well, yeah, Ricky's on his way to Louisiana, right? I was like, yeah. Who are you? Well, yeah. What we need to do is we need to get all of the air checks to see about these threats that he made to the president's mother. And I was like, he was just we're still going to need those tapes. Before he hit that stage, they had a nice little conversation with him. The Secret Service can pay attention to what you're saying, what you're doing, how you're doing it, who you're doing it with. And you're trying to tell me that on that day, they couldn't see a dude on a low end 150 yards out from where the former president was?
Flopping all over that roof. It wasn't like he was some stealth, you know.
Or could it be? Again, I'll put on my tinfoil kufi. Could it be that maybe there were some people, and there's some footage of some people who happen to, you know, telling people to move out of a certain area, and there's footage of people ducking down. Could it be that they ignored people telling them that there was this crazy kid on the roof, who, by the way, was a registered Republican, never voted though, but the only financial donation he made was through ActBlue, which is a Democratic donation hub. But okay. Yeah, no. Could it be that if I want to get somebody out of the race and I tried to cancel him and that didn't work, and I tried to take his money and that didn't work, then I tried to criminalize him and that didn't work, you know what else is left? But now all you've done is continue to mobilize a base who realizes that something's going in. What's up, my FBA family? I see y'all.
Peace.
You know, I think that something happened. And I think a lot of stuff didn't happen that should have happened. And I also find it very laughable that when you're dealing with a big honking man like Donald J. Trump, that you had these teeny tiny little girls shorter than my wife out there, not knowing where their holster was.
Right. Did you see that?
When they come in, they tapping on the vehicle and they're putting their sunglasses on like
you talking about the DEI? You talking about the DEI hires?
Yeah. DEI. I was like, what is this deep? Why are you doing the diversity hire? Like, nah. Like when I
thought it was strange. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, when I do events, man, I usually have the nation there. And they ain't sending the tiny people from the nation. You feel me? Like, I don't think that's cool. And I think that there's a whole lot of nonsense that happened. And I thank God, because I know that had he not moved his head, and this whole country would have been erupted, bro. And I'm not scared, because I got 3 Donald Trumps upstairs. You understand what I said to you? I got 3 of them upstairs. I got 3 45s upstairs. I'm a big Second Amendment fan, and I wish all black people were, because y'all love talking about gun control, but here's the gag, right?
Oh, God.
This is the importance. Number 1, you ever seen the first 48?
Yeah.
Seen a few episodes.
Cool. Do you know what has to happen for them to have an episode of the first 48?
Somebody has to die.
Somebody got to die first, and then the cops show up, which means the cops are just like what Tony Stark told Captain America. You're not the pre-Vengers, they're the Avengers. So the Avengers have the guns, and the bad guys have the guns. And us law-abiding citizens are going to be like, yeah, we need gun control. We need to stop the bump stocks. We should not have these semi-automatic weapons.
Dumbest shit ever.
I'm supposed to leave my fate in the hands of the bad guys and the reactionaries. Not on my watch.
Yeah, but you know, the Supreme Court also ruled that they're not obligated to protect you. Not coming to you dead anyway. Law enforcement is not obligated to
when did they say that? When did they say that?
The article, and that's
they said we reported on that when they
when they ruled on that.
Oh, now that's interesting.
Yeah. Very much so.
You know who is obligated to protect you?
You.
Thank you. So why do we want for them? Like, to me, I expect that. Again, Secret Service told me they're not supposed to take a bullet for the president. They're supposed to push him out the way.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Detectives are there to detect. And the truth of the matter is, in this climate, the best police officers officer money. That's why they keep putting out these rewards. But here's the gag. If, in fact, you're the one who's supposed to take care of you, then why don't you do a better job of taking care of you? It's like when black people tell me, oh, well, you know, they're taking black history out the school. Name me a Vietnamese American hero you learned about in school.
Right.
Name me 5 Native American heroes you learned about in school. I'll spot you Sacagawea, Pocahontas, and Sitting Bull. Don't worry, I'll wait. That's the thing. So why is it, if these people are the same people that you're saying is oppressing you, if these are the same people who are keeping you from greatness and keeping you from getting your life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, why do you want to send your kid to them to teach you about you? Because all they tell you is the same lies that they tell us about everything else. They tell you that Washington chopped down the cherry tree and said, I can't say I did it. They told you that Washington had wooden teeth in his mouth, even though he pulled teeth out of living slaves and put them in his damn dentures. They'll tell you that Lincoln wanted to free the slaves because he was just such a good person, but they don't tell you the fact that they were making fun of Lincoln because they knew that he had some Negro blood in them. And he said, if I could preserve the Union without having to free these slaves, I would, but I can't. So,
and he said, if I'm going to assign supremacy to any race, it'd be the white race.
And then all they teach you when they teach you about Black history, if you're lucky, you go to a progressive school, you'll get Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks.
Yeah,
Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King. Yeah, I don't think I got
I don't trip. I don't trip when they talking about they trying to do away with teaching Black history and taking away I don't trip on none of that. I'm like, is it doing us good anyway? Has it done us good thus far? Has it done us any good?
Well, if you don't want to be a parent and you don't want to educate your child about who they are, then yeah, I can see why you bitch about it. But of course, state-sanctioned programming is a lot more popular than homeschooling your child, and that's another thing that kills me. Do y'all realize that there's only one candidate that wants to pay people to homeschool their children? Fun fact, it ain't Biden. That's not an endorsement. That's a statement of fact.
That's true.
I homeschool my child. Real rap.
I did.
That
is very true.
Going into 5th grade next year. I'm just saying, like, y'all can play with your feelings, but I'm just telling you the facts. At some point, you got to realize the fix is in. Because I keep asking people, like, what else can they do? You've got a zombie who can't put together a coherent sentence, and even walking off the stage without being shot at, can't find a way to get off the stage. But the guy who got shot was like, no, let me wear my shoes. I can walk. I'm still
right.
You gotta like him, but you sure enough liked him when he was hanging out with Lil Jon. You liked him when he was hanging out with Mike Tyson. You liked him when he was putting Mike Tyson up. You liked him when he was doing WrestleMania. You liked him when he was unionizing Black people. You liked him when he was hosting Jesse Jackson, when the Democratic Party was saying that Jesse Jackson running for president not once but twice was a joke. You liked him when he got NAACP awards. So when did you stop liking him? Oh, around 2015 when they told you to. Because the Clintons had no problem with him because Bill was having golf with him at least 4 times a year, and he stood up at Chelsea's wedding. So when did he become a problem?
Right.
All right, Bully. We already get accused of being MAGA over here. You're gonna have everybody thinking this is a MAGA platform.
I am MATA. I am Make America Think Again.
Say that.
I am MATA. I am MATA. Make America Think Again. Tell me how I'm wrong. But y'all want to tell me about dumb shit that don't make no sense. And I'm telling you, this is the same.
I had an argument.
Oh, tell me about it.
I had an argument with my aunt yesterday. She's so delusional that she blew up Biden's butt. And so I start telling her the same thing. Can you name me one policy that Trump has written that negatively impacted Black people? I said, but we can go talk about all the things that Biden has done to negatively impact Black people. She said, yeah, but Trump did it. Biden probably did it, but he did it because Trump told him to. I was
somehow
like, Lord,
somehow it's still Trump's fault.
It was still, I swear, I should have recorded the conversation.
Hold on, nicely. Where your auntie from? I gotta check your auntie's hairline.
Texarkana. Just to piggyback on, what these Democrats are doing. I'm here in California, LA specifically, and our governor Newsom has signed a bill banning schools from notifying parents about gender identity for children K through 12. What does a 5-year-old know about gender identity?
Whatever they indoctrinate them with.
So why aren't people homeschooling their children?
Because they don't think that they can. And here's the thing, right? Maxine Waters has been in the Congress for 33 years. And my whole thing is, can you point to anything that she's done that has made it better for Californians? Don't worry, I'll wait. You can't.
I'll tell you, her district is 55% Black and homeless in her specific district. I'm here.
No.
And they call her auntie.
Because we got to, you go to a restaurant and you see somebody you tell them they're not welcome here. Why don't you go down to those tent cities you helped create, Maxine?
Right.
Since you want to reclaim your time, why don't you go reclaim your constituency? But we don't want to have that conversation because we like representation more than anything else. And my whole thing is like when they try to tell you, well, it's not Biden's fault about the crime bill. You know, the black leaders were calling for it. No, the Congressional Black Caucus, which has the DNC, has them about as short and curlies. Go watch the last season of Power and watch how the DNC was moving when it came to Ghost's character and what they was telling them that needed to happen and how they were controlling Councilman Tate. And that's how the DNC actually moves in real life. They are gangsters. If you don't do what they say, they'll back another candidate. So the Congressional Black Caucus is only made up of black congressional Democrats. They're not made up of black congressmen, because if that's the case, then why did they reject Byron Donalds? Ain't he a congressman? Oh,
right.
Because he's a Republican, and y'all don't want that. Y'all don't want no checks and balances. You want somebody to say, oh, let's go down because we the Congressional Black Caucus, and everybody likes to hear that because it sounds official.
You just said something I never even thought about. I always look at the Congressional Black Caucus, and I think the majority of them are tethers. But you just pointed out something I never even thought about. Why is it that the whole Congressional Black Caucus are only Democrats?
Right.
That's crazy.
Because there's an agenda and the DNC follows it. Now go look up how the Asian Caucus acts, how the Latinx Caucus acts. What they say. They say we want to secure America's promise for Latin people. We want to secure America's promise for Asian people.
Right. Specifically.
Black Caucus, we want to secure America's promise for Asian people and for Latin people and people of color. What the fuck? You know, Power Rangers, the Care Bears, and the Care Bears cousins in the Forest of Feelings. Anybody but black people.
Anybody but black people.
No, we good on that.
Man.
And that's the thing. See, here's the thing. You can get mad at me. You can go worship at the tit of D.L. Hughley, the fourth worst king of comedy, who hasn't had a solid stand-up special in 8 years, and the only jokes that have ever been funny are the ones Jeff
trash.
Dude is absolute trash. But every day he on here Orange Man bad.
Man.
Every day Isaac Hayes on here Orange Man. Every day Plies is on here Orange Man bad. So you got one
who paying him.
Who got no hits. You got one whose app still ain't popping, and you got another one who ain't told no real jokes and is sitting behind a microphone on a syndicated show that my mama don't even listen to.
I'm just saying.
Y'all that the Orange Man is bad, but they can't tell you what the feeble zombie man who looks like Ric Flair with a bad hairpiece it did for our people in the past 3.5 years. And that's all I want. And I don't want to hear nothing about the Supreme Court. I don't want to hear nothing about, because that's the new lit. This is my favorite. I don't know if y'all heard this one. Your so-called president gave more money to HBCUs than Trump did. And the truth of the matter is what he did was he got rid of all of those things that Trump did. And then he made an expansion so that money goes to
everybody.
My first favorite. TCUs, which are tribal colleges and universities, right?
Natives.
MSIs, which I know most of y'all ain't heard of. Those are minority serving institutions, right? And then you know who makes the least amount of money? The HBCUs. But it sounds good because y'all are not going to read the fine print because y'all don't go to whitehouse.gov. You don't go to joebiden.com. You don't look at what anybody's policy is. You're literally voting for prom king, and you got a zombie and a guy that ain't taking no shit, and you're choosing the zombie. That's like when the Roman government said, "Listen, we can give you this rapist, thief, or murderer up for parole named Barabbas, who's been robbing and raping and murdering your people for years now. We can execute him right now, or we can let him go, or we can give y'all this Jesus dude who y'all ain't told me he hit nobody. Y'all ain't told me he killed nobody. What y'all want to do?" And they said, "Give us Barabbas." That's what y'all doing. Because here's the thing, simple math. And this is my only argument. And again, I'm not pro-Trump. I'm not anti-Biden. I am pro-facts.
Right.
And the fact is, any way you slice it, 50 years of damage is a lot less than 4 years of damage. And I'm sorry, from a business perspective, as a person who employs black people, some of the best years my company had was from 2017 to 2019. Sorry.
Not the first person I've heard say that. This is the Black Business Showcase. We interviewed several business owners and entrepreneurs who said the same thing.
Right. But, you know, the economy is getting steady, but, you know, it's $8 eggs and $5 gas.
You know what I mean?
I'm just saying, and we're talking about businesses closing. Black, specifically, small businesses are closing. You know, many open under the 4 years that Trump was in office, but now many are closing under Biden. So people have to speak on that as well. I have close friends here, in Los Angeles, Redstone Firearms. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them, but they're the only Black-owned firearm store here in California. Pretty much, there's not many Black-owned ones, but they're closing down. They just announced, because one, rent here has gone up 500%. Also, this dumbass mayor that we have over here with all the fees that they're tacking on out here for Californians and stuff like that, like they cannot survive. Going strong for 10 years, they can't survive. This is due to Democratic policies, including Biden, but no one wants to hear that. They want to focus on, well, Trump is racist. So,
right.
And
what does that mean?
Your boss is racist, but you don't stand up for him.
Right. You got to work every day on time. And
your teachers are racist, but you don't stand up for your kids.
You send your kids.
But now all of a sudden this is where we stop it. So you don't have no problem with a man saying they're gonna put you back in chains. The only way y'all gonna be successful is y'all get with the Hispanics, right? America is doomed, not just because of Black people, because white people are going to be the minority.
Right.
Obama's the first.
He went on the whole white supremacist rant.
Articulate man.
Right.
I don't want my kids growing up in a racial jungle. Poor kids can learn just as well as white kids, and you're telling me that this is the man you love? Oh, we know Joe.
And he's not racist.
No, not at all. His mentor was Strom Thurmond, who was a card-carrying segregationist, just like his mentee Joseph Robinette Biden of Delaware. Right. Robert Byrd, also an exalted cyclops of the Ku Klux Klan, also card-carrying racist, who Biden said was a good man. This is your man. And then your vice president went from, I was unburdened by what is. I was in the second school class of the people who were being bused, and you didn't hold up to Joe. We did it, Joe. Who also said, I'm not just here to say I ain't going to do nothing for Black people, but
no.
But also remember, let that ride. I have zero respect for these buck dancing coons who call themselves Democrats.
Me too. Remember when they both were running, and some woman accused him of sexual. He went on the record and said that she believes the woman to being now his vice president. So what happened to the believing the women?
No, that went out the window. And that's the other thing. Everybody who they put in front of you, did you notice that everybody they put in front of you, Ketanji Brown Jackson, Kamala Harris, they all have one thing in common?
White zaddy.
Zaddy.
That's it. They love zaddy. Because they're the type of Negroes you can control.
Yep. And nobody can see the forest of the trees.
It's a prerequisite.
Getting those South Carolina collard greens, and I'm going through the you go to the tarmac, Kamala. Knock it off.
Yeah.
Like you going through
Kwanzaa. She celebrated Kwanzaa and Juneteenth. She grew up celebrating all of that, but she eating curry pies.
Sincere, you messy, because what you're not understanding about your vice president while you're sitting up here slandering her, she told Taraji she was in them streets, girl.
Oh yeah, she out here in the streets. They not like
us. She was.
She was. Montel Williams, she was in them streets. She was in the streets with Willie Brown. I'm
Willie Brown ass.
Is that streets or is that Florida streets?
I'll say Florida Street. Right.
She belongs
People
to the streets.
got amnesia.
Yo, listen, man.
I can't. I just report my life. I ain't diagnosed it.
This was fun, man. You have been more than generous with your time.
Of course.
We're gonna have to get you up out of here, man. You're gonna get us kicked off of YouTube.
Oh yeah, this is content straight up. I apologize.
Nah, this is good stuff, man. This is what we do here, man. This is what we do here, man. We definitely appreciate you coming through, man, and appreciate everybody that's tuning in. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you hit the like button and share this out. We chopping it up with the Business Bully. This is the Black Business Showcase. Again, we do this every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. So if you are a business owner, entrepreneur, an inventor, an entertainer, anything like that, you do things independently.
Jeff Brown.
You want to be showcased on our Black Business Showcase, hit me up in the DM.
Brown.
I'm at Sincere Love to God on all social media platforms. Jeff Brown.
Jeff Brown.
Nicety Girl is at Nicety Girl with the #1 on Instagram. Jeff Brown. Slide in her DMs. Jeff
He
Brown.
knows me. He follows me now.
Let us know what you got going on. Or you can send us an email at godcastenterprises@gmail.com. Let us know what you got going on so we can see about getting you on the schedule for the Black Business Showcase. But we're going to wind this thing down and close it out in Godcast fashion like we always do at this time. So, Nicety girl, do your thing.
All right, business bully. What does freedom and power mean to you?
Freedom is never having to ask how much, where I can go, and how I can get there. Power is being able to dictate where I go, what I do, and how I do it. And teaching other people to have that same freedom and power is the only reason I'm alive right now, aside from my own family. That's it. Because if you're not doing that, then what else is there? Like, what good are you? And that's the thing, man. Like, I get it. You're not gonna see me in a Lambo. I'm not gonna tell you to go right off the G-Wagon. I know y'all like that. But if you want to work, if you want to scale your business, go ahead and hit me up at thebusinessbully.com/without paid ads. You can follow me at The Business Bully. I would love to help you. I spend a lot of time talking to my people about what they need to do, whether they sign up to work with me or not. Because if I don't tell you, ain't nobody else going to tell you. And I want us to start looking toward each other before we start looking out at them. Because every time we look out at them, they look in on us. And they start making money off of us. We need to start making money, with each other and through each other and for each other and about each other. Other than that, you can pump all the fish you want. You can put up all the avatars you want. You can hotep. You can wear your waist beads and have your herbal tea. But until such time as you're ready to collaborate with your people, you're a problem. And I love y'all.
Yes, indeed.
We love you.
That could have been this part, but I still got a the septic ring.
Don't forget the women with the septum rings,
Oh my God. Man. Because I got original Patti LaBelle nostrils. You understand what I'm saying to my daughter? Listen. Listen.
All right, last part, man. On this part right here, I got to put you on the Summer Jam screen. And right now you have the microphone. The entire Black community is listening. What parting words would you like to leave us with tonight?
I'm not going to sit up here and tell you that being an entrepreneur is easy, because it's not. I'm not going to tell you that every time I sit around to write, one of my 22 best-selling books, like Sell It Like Jesus, available in bookstores now and on Amazon or at businessbullyshow.com, that it's easy. I'm not going to tell you that being able to read 2 books a day is easy. I'm not going to tell you that losing 312 pounds is easy. I'm not going to tell you that leaving your job in that BiWeekly Insult, which makes you feel secure, is easy, because then I'd be lying, and I don't do that. What I will say is that at some point, you got to realize what's worth it. And what's worth it is calling your own shots, being able to wake up when you want, being able to live the way that you want, being able to figure things out. I would rather have 10 down years doing what I love, calling my own shots and keeping my lights on, than have 10 up years where I only get 2 weeks of vacation and I'm so excited about benefits that I'm paying for that I don't look at it as a benefit. There's something inside of you that is crawling and crying out for change. There's something inside of you that says, I want more than what I'm getting. I want more than more month at the end of the money. I want you to tap into that thing. And if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, if you're sick and tired of code switching, if you're sick and tired of being told that you're problematic, if you're sick and tired of just existing and not living, are you tired of being a non-playable character in this life that God has called you to be? If that's the case, I need you to go to www.thebusinessbully.com/without paid ads, or give me that Tony special. Click the link in my bio and get this work. That's all, man. Come holler at me. I want to help you. My team is looking to help you. The only people we are looking for are each other. And that's the only way we're going to get any help, because any other help come with too much strings. And last I checked, you ain't a puppet. I mean, some of y'all are. D.L. Hughley, right. Isaac Hayes III, a few others.
Oprah, Gail.
I mean, listen, we do next Next time I come on, we're gonna talk about Oprah again. Because I just want y'all to realize that there's something else out here for you, and I just want to be the one to help you get there. That's it. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Appreciate that, big homie. This man said you got more month at the end of the money.
It's the bars for me. It is the bars for me.
I should be a battle rapper. I really should.
That's a t-shirt.
It is.
Oh man, listen, we got to get up out of here, man. We appreciate everybody rocking with us tonight. Once again, this has been another episode of Sincere Love the Godcast, our special edition of the Black Business Showcase. Me and Nicely will be back here with y'all on Sunday. Chop it up with y'all about all the crazy stuff that's going in the world and how it pertains to Black society. So y'all make sure that y'all are subscribed. If you watching us for the first time, you tuning in from Facebook, you definitely want to head on over to YouTube, Godcast Enterprises. Hit that notification. Hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you can be reminded when we do go live with new episodes of Sincere Love the Godcast and the Black Business Showcase. But until then, family, I always want you to remember that we are not the master teachers. We are only the master students and signal boosters for the voices of the new Black media. That being said, we are out of here. Peace and Black love.
Yeah, like that. Let's see what's in the God's mind. Listen.